Hey, what's going on, guys? Kalamazi here, and today I've got a video answering all the questions for Warlocks about Shards of Domination buffs. What's better in single target, Blood, Unholy, or Frost? Is Frost good? Is it still bad? And how good is Unholy? Every single question you possibly have, I should hopefully be able to answer today in this video for you for Demonology, Destruction, and Affliction in 1 target, 2 target, 4 target-esque Mythic Plus kind of settings, and really just going from there. I've gotten a lot of questions over the last few days or so. What are the buffs going to look like? Well, Simcraft wasn't updated until today when the patch went live, but for the most part, we could sort of speculate based on just like the percentage buffs, roughly what they would be. I had assumed that Blood Link, the blood bonus, was going to be very similar to Unholy in overall single target DPS, if not maybe a little better. Well, we were pretty close, and also much more consistent than Unholy. Now, Frost is an interesting bonus in itself, and I wouldn't be surprised at some point if some Frost shenanigans emerge, but at this point, it still seems like it missed the mark a little bit. But regardless, we can get in the video and talk about it through sims in a little bit of, I guess, character-esque gameplay here. If you see any weak ORS profiles or add-ons you'd like to grab here, you can get them all for free off my Twitch. If you want to swing by, hang out, and ask any questions, feel free to do so. So getting into the changes this week to Shards of Domination. Last week, Blizzard mentioned that they're going to be nerfing the Unholy bonus by roughly half, like 45%, and then buffing Blood and Frost to sort of compensate and try and bring them all together. After a lot of backlash from the player base, they decided not to do that, but they still also move forward with buffing Blood Link and Winds of Winter. Now, Unholy is, or I guess was, the best system, the best shards that you can get across the board. In single target, 2 target, 4 target, whatever you named, Unholy was where you wanted to be for Warlocks. Blood Link wasn't terrible. It wasn't horrendous in pure single target, but Blood Link applies a debuff to the actual targets you hit, basically a dot that just, well, it jumps around whenever you swap targets, so you don't get any kind of 2 target cleave. Now, the good thing about Blood Link is that it's a permanent dot. It's something the second you hit a target, it goes up and it will transfer life and deal damage to you every single X amount of time, being very consistent. Unholy is not like that. Sometimes you get stacks quickly, sometimes you don't. Sometimes Chaos Bane procs earlier, later, during CDs, outside of CDs, with them, without them. You can't really control it very well, which has a higher upside, but also a lower low side. It's not as consistent, and the healing that Blood Link brings is actually very relevant. We'll get to that in a little bit here. Winds of Winter is in a weird spot. It's sort of an AoE based trait that gives you a shield, so like throughput wise, you can sort of, I guess, make a case for Winds of Winter being a thing for like the shield effect that it has. But honestly, this tier has been cleared. It was cleared 3 weeks ago by Echo and Complexity Limit, other guilds. The shield effect's not going to make or break prog on a boss. If it does for you, there are 10 things your healers, everybody else in the guild could probably be doing better and differently to avoid playing a Frost bonus. With that being said, so I've run sims based off my own character earlier on stream. These are indeed the sims. Now we have Demo, Destro, and Affliction, which is actually pretty cool because Affliction's damage is not the best, but it's actually not as terrible as people might think it is. Demonology in single target here. This is rough. So this is simmed with full mythic helm, shoulders, and chest, and these are the highest shards you can get. Portentous, Unholy, Portentous Blood, Portentous Frost. So like rank 5 across the board, for every single shard combination. So number 1 for pure single target, from what I've gotten with my own character, Demonology, Blood Link is indeed ahead. This is the highest blood bonus here. It's at 516 because of a raw DPS gain. Basically, it's comparing it to my current gear I simmed with. Pretty much what you need to look at here is this is the triple Unholy bonus. This is the triple blood bonus. So it has the blood bonus ahead by roughly 8 DPS, which the margin of error is 9 DPS. So it's very, very, very minuscule, a 0.1% difference, maybe a tiny bit more, a tiny bit less. But the big thing here is consistency. Blood Link will, if you're in a patchwork fight, it will go onto your target and it will heal you and deal damage for the entire duration of the fight as long as you're alive. Unholy bonus can proc a lot, can proc a little bit, can have high stacks, low stacks. There's a bit of RNG in it. So on pure single target, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see a lot of blood sims, or I guess blood kills parses popping up as far as Demo, and we'll move along here. Probably Demo and a couple other specs here are concerned. With that being said, if you already have an Unholy bonus going into the 2 target sim here, well, this is Demo 2 target, but Unholy does indeed pull ahead. The highest Unholy bonus is here. The highest blood is here. So Unholy is ahead by roughly 226 DPS. So with that being said, if you're looking at upgrading either just Unholy or just blood, you're probably going to be in a better spot still going with Unholy for dumping your Stygian Embers into a bit faster, because it's so similar in single target, albeit more RNG, but much better in stacked 2 target base settings. Now, interestingly enough here, when you go to 2 minute for boss targets, did I actually run the other sim here? Let's see. Okay, I did. So interestingly enough, if you go to 4 bosses in 40 seconds, it actually has blood link higher here, which I wanted to note. It's important to look at this sim. When I ran it, I was like, why is this actually a thing? Why is blood link so much higher in 4 target 40-second sims compared to the Unholy bonus? And if you look, the frost bonus is still pretty bad here. Spoilers ahead, it's better for other specs in a faster sim. But the big thing here, if you run your own sims, the reason why this is happening, I would assume, is that 40-ish seconds, you don't have enough time for your Chaos Bane to hit max stacks and explode and give you the large intellect buff. If you move to a 2-minute sim with 4 boss targets, Unholy is indeed ahead of Blood, and it's ahead by 636 DPS. So in pure single target, TLDR, for me personally, and I would assume for you guys as well, it's important to run your own sims. Blood is ahead by a very, 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 very small margin, but be more consistent and bring more sustained healing to you and your character. Unholy is better in 2, 3, 4 targets, and realistically is very similar in single target for Demonology. Moving on to Affliction, or sorry, Destruction. Destro single target. So we actually have Unholy here. Once again, it's important to run your own sims, but this is still playing Rolling Hat or Duplicitous Havoc. I know, I didn't change it. It's okay. Single target destruction. It has the Unholy bonus, triple Unholy ahead of the blood bonus here by roughly 30 DPS, give or take. Once again, if you get the Unholy bonus proccing during your Infernal, during your Dark Soul, during Lust, and other CDs being stacked, it's going to be a substantial power gain. The high end of the Unholy bonus is going to be much higher than the consistency of the blood bonus. But in single target, similar to Demonology, blood will bring that same sustained healing and DPS. And I'm going to skip ahead a bit here just to show you guys the actual healing that blood does. So our Warlock tonight on a heroic Sylvanas kill on farm had rank 4 blood link on. This is healing done. Here are the healers, and here he is. He sustained about 1.2k HPS over the course of the fight. Yeah, and to be fair, a decent bit of it is soul leech, but look at blood link, 13.0 and 12.21. I'm actually not even sure why it's broken down in 2 different sections here, but blood link provided a pretty substantial amount of damage, or healing, I'm sorry, being what, I guess 350, I guess about 320 HPS roughly. That's solid. That's very similar to having a second soul leech shield in a sense, even though they're a bit different. I actually had rank 3 on, and I sustained 811 playing Affliction, which by the way you shouldn't play on Sylvanas. I sustained about 812 HPS playing rank 3 for about, you know, a similar amount here, about 290 give or take. Blood link's healing is very real. It's very strong. The throughput's pretty impressive. I don't think anybody's even playing blood link here. Let's see. All our Warlocks in the guild are cursed and don't have any kind of Unholy bonuses. I guess he got one tonight, but yeah, it's like, it's myself, blood link, him playing blood link, and I really don't even see anybody else playing it. But this is rank 4 blood link. This is not even rank 5. I've heard that you're looking upwards from like Warlock things at about a 1.4 to 1.5k HPS just sustained playing rank 5 blood link. So it's actually pretty relevant. And on a lot of fights where you have sustained damage coming in, like Painsmith final phase, like let's say Sylvanas at certain points in the fight, just points where you're taking this frequent damage, the healing it brings is actually pretty strong. But moving on back to Destro here, single target, Unholy's ahead by about 28-30ish DPS for me. Once again, important to run your own sims, but very, very close in single target. Now, unsurprisingly, going to 2 target here, Unholy is ahead by a substantial bit. Triple blood here versus triple Unholy, it's ahead by about 443 DPS. This is indeed so playing Duplicitous Havoc in 2 target for 5 minutes. Now, if you go to the 40-second 4 boss target sim, something interesting happens here. You actually have Frost pulling ahead. And then if you look further into it, you actually have Blood, the highest triple blood bonus here, ahead of Unholy. The 3 Unholy Shard, technically it's right here. Here's your 3 Unholy, here's your 3 Blood, and here's your 3 Frost. But similar to how Demo was, even though Frost is really bad, I assume Frost is not proc off Demonology, pets critting, which makes sense. Like most things in the game, Demonology gets the short end of the stick. This is a 4 target 40-second sim. Once again, it's because the Unholy bonus doesn't have time to stack and give you a big Chaos Bane proc. If you go to 4 targets for 2 minutes, okay, well, Unholy is ahead by a pretty substantial amount, by about 600 DPS, give or take. But interestingly enough, the Frost bonus is actually here. Now, I haven't played a whole lot with the Frost bonus. I have the shoulders, I have the shards. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some weird build where Frost Shards emerge and end up being played in certain settings. I did indeed sim this with Channel Demon Fire for like the partial crit ticks. I have not played with it myself. It didn't really seem to make much of a difference. So it's either not implemented correctly, or more realistically, it probably is, and probably just isn't very good. But TLDR, Unholy seems to still be the play pretty much across the board for Destro. For me, even in single target, albeit Bloodlink being pretty close there as well. Affliction Warlock. I'm actually playing Demonic Synergy here. I think I threw a Malefic Grass sim in somewhere. I did. So just you know, just to show, my AF sim right now with rank 5 shards and mythic pieces here is 8,608 DPS. My Demonology sim is 9,339. They're both the same actual eye level as far as legendaries are concerned. Affliction's a little behind. So with that being said, we have number 1. This is a bit harder to read because I had to change soulbinds around too, but you can still see triple blood bonus here. Number 1, the highest triple unholy bonus we have is, let's see here, portentous 1, 2. We actually have 3. This is basically the break even where I'm sitting right now. So blood is ahead by about 30-ish DPS with the highest optimal configuration of actual shards we have. And you can see this is also playing Malignancy, Soul Eater, and Withering Bolt. Same thing here. So AF having blood ahead by about 30 DPS, it's what I assumed, makes sense. Going in the 2 target though, well, this is the, oh, this is your Malefic Wrath sim. I'm sorry, my apologies. Malefic Wrath here. We actually gained what? We gained about 250 DPS, give or take. Still favors blood by a bit of a smaller margin, but once again, there's a 10 DPS margin of error here. Moving on to 2 targets. Unsurprisingly, Unholy, excuse me, pulls ahead. I'm still a little sick here. Unholy pulls ahead in 2 targets. This is the highest Unholy sim. The highest blood sim is sort of hard to find here, but we can go down here. It is 1, 2, 3, basically right here, with a field of Unholy sims. Now, once again, I had to swap conduits, so you can basically ignore the Demonology ones. Here are the mix of them. Here is your Focus Malignancy, your Soul Eater, and your Withering Bolt. Going up as high as we possibly can. Unholy, Unholy, Unholy. I'll have these sims linked in the video description as well if you want to look at them. The one playing the same conduits, Affliction conduits, is about 280, let's say 300 DPS ahead, which makes sense. 2 targets, intellect, stacking bonus, Bloodlink not getting any extra value because it's single target based. 4 targets, 40 seconds, very similar. You see Frost here ahead by a little bit. I can't even see where Unholy is at here, honestly, but it's just because Unholy is not proccing again, TLDR. You go to 4 targets, 2 minutes, and Unholy is ahead. Let's see, what's the closest one here? We have Unholy with the actual correct conduits. The next closest thing we have is probably going to be pretty far down because we've got a handful of combinations here. Let's see. It's pretty far down. We've got a lot of combinations here. Here's blood bonus right there. Here's blood bonus. So essentially, you're looking at about a 700 DPS gain, give or take, in 4 target for a second. So hopefully this helps answer a lot of questions for you guys. Bloodlink at rank 3 has seemed to be somewhere around like 5 to 6-ish% of my damage, being pretty consistent depending on crits and things. I assume rank 4, rank 5 is going to be, it will be higher DPS. I've gained about 180 DPS going to rank 3, I believe. I think, but either way, I think this might even been rank 2 tonight. I'm pretty sure this is rank 2 as far as healing is concerned. He might have had rank 3. Either way, I pushed mine to the, I believe, rank 3 or 4 after the raid. Portentous, Ominous, all the shards. TLDR, blood is good when it comes to single target healing on your, or your healing on yourself. The sustainability, the throughput is good, and the damage it puts out in single target is solid as well. But if you already have Unholy upgraded, you already have Unholy bonus, you're really not losing a whole lot. There's not a fight this tier where you have to play Bloodlink. There's not a fight this tier it's so HPS demanding that you're going to die if you don't play it. So if, honestly, if you have the Unholy set bonus, keep playing it. It's fine if you don't want to swap the single target. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if you see later down the line, or even this week, in single target, some actual blood bonuses emerging and putting up some decent numbers. The blood buff, solid. Blizzard did a good job of tuning it. It's basically within, I don't know, for me at least, like a 0.1 to 0.2% margin of a difference margin, however you want to word it. It's pretty close. Frost might need some help, but blood and Unholy are looking pretty good in single target. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope this video clarified just how the changes to blood, Unholy, I guess blood and Frost Shards are going to change things for Warlocks. TLDR, probably not a whole lot. Blood is good in single target. Unholy is basically the same, albeit less HPS, less sustainability, less consistency, but a higher upside. And Frost is still in a really weird spot, but hey, that's okay because, well, you know, it'll probably be buffed again, right? So hedge your bets, double down on Frost, and they'll buff it again, and then it'll be good. I'm kidding, don't upgrade Frost, but yeah. Let me know what you guys think of these changes in the video in the comment section below. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them down there as well, or swing by stream anytime. We can also get all my weekly orders and my profiles add-ons for free if you want, and I'll be sure to help you out there and hopefully answer any questions you might have. I want to give a huge shout out to all my Patreons as well, or patrons, good lord. Thank you so much, guys, as well. I really do appreciate support. If you're interested in supporting, there should be a link in the video description somewhere, as well as maybe one up here or somewhere. Also, a quick heads up, the Warlock spreadsheet for 9.1 and Kalamazi.gg, my website, will indeed be getting updated sometime this week. The goal was yesterday, but I just ran out of time with only having one day off this week. They'll be getting updated with Domination Shards, trinkets, all of that. I'll make a video on it as well, but keep your eyes open. With that being said, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll catch you all again soon on stream. Peace.